Welcome back to Thomas and Friends Read Aloud by Miss Jen Reads a Lot. This one today is Emily's New Route. It was summer on the island of Sodor, and there was a lot of work for the engines to do, carrying passengers and goods up and down the lines. But the engines liked being busy, so they were happy. All except Emily. She was down at the docks with Salty shunting trucks into the sidings, and she didn't like the work at all. Salty tried to cheer her up with one of his stories. "It's about a lighthouse, a box of oranges, and a fishing rod," said Salty. It all started when... But only Salty seemed to know what his stories were about, and Emily soon stopped listening. "Oh, I wish I could do something different," she said. Emily's wish came true the very next morning. "I am opening up some new routes," said the Fat Controller. "Emily, I want you to pull the special going to the flour mill." Emily couldn't wait to tell James and Thomas about her new job. "That's a good job, better than mine," said James. "I have to run to Black Lock. There are big stones on the track that bash my buffers and scratch my lovely red paint." "And he's frightened of the Black Lock monsters," added Thomas. "A monster? What's that?" asked Emily. "Nobody really knows," said Thomas. "There are black things in the water, dark shapes that come and go." "Nonsense," said James. "It's just a story, at least I think so." But Emily wasn't so sure, and she was glad she didn't have to go to Black Lock. The next morning, Emily puffed to the mill and the flour was loaded onto her trucks. Then she took the flour to the bakery. But the trucks decided to be naughty. Hold back," they screeched. They put their brakes on so that Emily had to pull really hard. It made her very slow, and she was so late that there was no flour to make fresh bread that day. The Fat Controller didn't have any toast for breakfast, and he was very cross. "If you're late again, I'll send you to Black Lock instead of James," he told her. Poor Emily. Black Lock was the very last place she wanted to go. I mustn't be late, she puffed. But the next morning the trucks were still playing tricks. Off we go, they giggled. Mustn't be late. But the trucks weren't coupled up properly, and when Emily puffed away, she left some of them behind. She had to go all the way back to get them, but still the trucks were being naughty. "Emily's late, they sang. That made Emily cross, very cross. She biffed the trucks so hard that they rolled into the duck pond with a big splash. The flour went into the water and made a sticky, gooey white mess. The trucks were covered in it, and so was Emily. Emily was in even more trouble now. "I'm not at all pleased with you," the Fat Controller told her. "You must do the Black Lock run instead of James." "Oh, no," said Emily, "not Black Lock." Thomas tried to make her feel better. "Wait and see," he said. "You might like the run after all." "What? Bashed buffers, scratched paint, and a big monster?" said Emily sadly. "I don't think so." The next morning Emily puffed to the station to collect her passengers. They were on holiday, and she could see that they were really looking forward to their trip. Emily knew she mustn't let them down, so she took a big breath and steamed off. Emily was puffing along beside Black Lock when rocks fell from the hillside and blocked the line. She was waiting for help when the water in the lock splashed and splished, and she saw dark shapes moving towards the shore. Emily's boiler shivered and her valves rattled. She was very scared. "It's the monster," she cried. But it wasn't a monster at all. It was a family of seals who had come to say hello. "Onk, onk," said the seals. Emily liked the seals so much that after work that night she took Thomas to meet them. "You are right, Thomas," said Emily. "I did like the Black Lock run after all." "Peep, peep," said Thomas. "Onk, onk," said the seals.